You may take 3 popular vitamins every day, but did you realize that they could be subtly weakening your legs and endangering your independence? Despite the fact that not all supplements are beneficial, many seniors think that taking additional vitamins will improve their health. Some, particularly for those over 60, can be blatantly harmful. When taken excessively or needlessly, these 3 specific vitamins can weaken your legs, harm your muscles, and raise your risk of fractures, falls, and even irreversible loss of mobility. Before it's too late, let's discuss what they are, why they're hazardous, and what you should do in their place. 1. The silent muscle weakener. Vitamin E has been marketed as a miracle supplement for many years. Many elderly folks take it every day in the hopes that it will help them stay vital. It is praised for its purported advantages to heart health, skin elasticity, and even anti-aging. However, the very supplement meant to prolong life may be subtly depriving seniors, particularly those over 60, of the capacity to live life to the fullest. Unlike vitamin C or other water-soluble nutrients, vitamin E is fat-soluble, which means it doesn't just go through the body. It builds up over time and is kept in reserve in the liver and adipose tissues of your body. It can start to interfere with vital bodily functions, notably those pertaining to muscle strength and coordination when taken in excess, especially at levels over 400 IU daily, which are typical of over-the-counter supplements. This usually starts out quietly, a little difficulty rising from a chair, spinning swiftly and feeling a little unsteady, maybe a little more worn out than normal while traversing the supermarket. It's simple to dismiss these issues as a natural part of aging, but occasionally the underlying cause is much more hazardous and curable. It has been demonstrated that too much vitamin E impairs neuromuscular function and interferes with muscle metabolism. This interference can result in a substantial loss of leg strength for seniors, whose muscular mass is already gradually decreasing with age. You may eventually become reliant on a cane, walker, or worse, a chair due to the progressive, nearly imperceptible weakening of the muscles supporting your knees and hips. However, it doesn't end there. Additionally, high vitamin E intake can thin the blood, which is particularly dangerous for elderly people on anticoagulant drugs. This increases the chance of internal bleeding, bruises, and fall-related problems. Imagine the danger of a simple stumble when your legs are no longer able to catch you in time and your body is more susceptible to bleeding. The most unsettling aspect? There are no warning labels attached to these changes. They develop gradually and are frequently disguised as aging. And a lot of well-meaning elderly people keep taking their daily pill without realizing that it may be subtly weakening the basis of their mobility. This has nothing to do with inciting fear. The goal is to raise awareness. Although the human body is strong, it can become unbalanced. What works for a 30-year-old could not work for a 70-year-old. Because of this, supplementing needs to be done carefully and not out of habit, especially as people age. It could be time to ask a tough but important question if you have been taking vitamin E without your doctor's approval, especially at larger dosages. Is this beneficial or detrimental to me? And what other common supplements might be subtly impairing your strength and independence if one supposedly healthy vitamin might have such negative effects? Next, let's discuss vitamin A. You might be even more surprised by it. 2. The secret cause of weak bones and muscles is vitamin A. There is a silent threat lurking in plain sight. These are the same vitamins that many elderly people rely on to maintain their immune systems, protect their skin, and keep their vision. It has long been believed that vitamin A is necessary for good aging, even though it is frequently taken without much consideration. And it really is, in the proper proportions. However, many older persons are unaware that excessive vitamin A use, particularly over extended periods of time, might subtly undermine health rather than promote it. Our bodies handle nutrition differently as we age. This reduces the error margin. Our muscles no longer recuperate as well. Our bones get thinner, and our organs slow down. Another fat-soluble vitamin that does not be flushed away with urine like water-soluble vitamins is vitamin A. Rather, it builds up silently in the soft tissues and liver. And it begins to do actual harm when levels get too high, which is surprisingly simple to achieve when taking multivitamins, cod liver oil, or fortified foods. The effect of long-term vitamin A excess on bone density is among its most concerning consequences. High vitamin A levels have been linked to accelerated bone loss, especially in the legs and hips, according to studies. The most vulnerable are the very bones that allow us to move, balance, and be independent. Even a slight increase in fragility can transform an ordinary misstep into a fracture that could change a person's life if they are an elderly person with already fragile bones. However, the skeleton is not the only source of peril. Additionally, too much vitamin A can weaken the muscles that give the legs their stability and strength. Walking becomes more of a problem than it used to be for many seniors as they experience weariness in their hips or thighs, persistent aches, and a growing weakness. These signs are simple to ignore. After all, fatigue and pain are frequently regarded as normal aspects of aging. However, what if age isn't the source at all? What if you take that exact supplement every morning thinking it will protect you? Even worse, vitamin A poisoning doesn't show up in conspicuous ways. It doesn't yell. Slowly, it murmurs. Perhaps you've noticed that you sit more. Stairs may seem steeper. Perhaps you're coming up with reasons to stay at home instead of taking a chance on a stroll around the neighborhood. Your life is reshaped over time by these changes, which may seem little at first. They undermine your self-esteem, level of activity, and independence. In actuality, no vitamin should be used carelessly, especially by people who are 60, 70, or older. Our needs evolve over time, and if we're not careful, things that once fed us can start to wear us down. It's worth having a serious discussion with your doctor if you take vitamin A on a daily basis, particularly if you use it in conjunction with other supplements or foods that have been fortified. The price of doing nothing could be far higher than you think. Furthermore, if the highly recommended vitamin A can silently weaken your bones and legs, what about the vitamins that are supposed to offer you energy and clarity? Perhaps the most unexpected of these is vitamin B6. It may be the warning you didn't see coming because of the way it damages your legs and how it affects your nerves. Third, vitamin B6. Your legs may go numb from the energy boost. Usually, it begins with a tingling feeling that comes and goes, sometimes only in the toes at first. Then, it slowly rises. Your steps become less sure. The sensation in your feet gets stale, and eventually, your legs start to seem alien, as though they aren't entirely yours. Many elderly people attribute this disturbing feeling to aging, poor circulation, or even diabetes. However, what if the cause isn't even a disease? What if it's a vitamin that you've been taking consistently to maintain your mental acuity, increase your energy levels, or support your brain? Multivitamins, energy supplements, and brain health solutions frequently contain vitamin B6, which is well known for its function in metabolism and the nervous system. It's marketed as something that keeps elderly people active and focused. However, few people are aware that vitamin B6 can become toxic over time when taken in excessive levels, particularly to the nerves in the legs and feet. Furthermore, the harm it causes doesn't simply disappear when you stop using it. Vitamin B6 acts differently from other water-soluble vitamins, which the body usually eliminates when taken in excess. It starts to interfere with your body's capacity to send impulses along the nerves when taken in high levels, particularly above 100 milligrams daily, which is much more frequent in over-the-counter supplements than most people realize. Peripheral neuropathy, the resulting condition, is catastrophic for many older persons. Vitamin B6 poisoning causes peripheral neuropathy that affects more than just feeling. It changes balance, coordination, and movement. You can feel awkward, as though your feet aren't landing properly. Because of your fear of falling, you can trip over nothing, become unconfident when descending stairs, or start to completely avoid social situations. The terrible thing is that this harm may be irreparable. Sometimes the nerves are still damaged long after the vitamin is stopped, resulting in persistent weakness or numbness in the legs. The emotional cost is just as high. We rely on our legs to carry us through life with dignity, as well as to get us from one point to another. Everything changes when that independence is in jeopardy. The independence to enter your doctor's office without assistance, the delight of taking a stroll in the park, or the act of standing to prepare a meal. It can all be taken away due to a harmful but well-intentioned habit. Instead of giving you energy, taking too much B6 could take away your confidence, safety, and movement. This is not a fringe or uncommon problem. Older individuals are becoming increasingly concerned because they assume that anything with a vitamin label must be safe. But the fact is that even vitamins need to be handled carefully and intelligently. What gives life energy at one point in time might subtly kill it at another. After examining these three hidden risks, vitamins E, A, and B6, it is evident that the belief that more is always better poses a greater harm than the actual pill. However, this is not where the narrative ends. Every day, seniors' legs may become weaker due to another important cause. Not a vitamin, but a habit of living that is equally prevalent and twice as often disregarded. Next, let's find it. 4. For you, what does this mean? A list of vitamin cautions is considerably less personal than what this means to you as someone who has endured times of transition, surmounted obstacles, and accumulated a lifetime of learning. It serves as a reminder that as our bodies and requirements change throughout time, even the routines we rely on and the habits we think are beneficial to us need to be reevaluated. Wanting to do what's best for your health is not a sign of weakness. In reality, you've probably come here because you want to continue being strong, active, and independent. However, the truth is that some of the very supplements you take on a regular basis, possibly with your coffee in the morning or as part of an established routine, may be subtly compromising your balance, leg strength, and the independence you fought for your entire life. It's not always dramatic when leg strength starts to wane. First, it could be the unexpected hesitancy before leaving a curb or the additional effort required to get out of a chair. You may be using the elevator rather than the stairs because your legs don't feel as stable as they once did, not because you're lazy. These adjustments gradually become a part of your daily routine. You don't move as much. You stay away from some activities. You start organizing your day according to your constraints rather than your preferences. The body eventually adjusts to weakness, inactivity, and caution. Muscles get smaller. Bones become increasingly brittle. Additionally, the dangers of fractures, falls, and losing one's independence increase. The most challenging aspect is that illness isn't necessarily the cause of these changes. They are not necessarily caused by aging. They can occasionally be the consequence of decisions taken with the best of intentions, but without the proper direction. The fact that too much vitamin A can damage bones was not explained to you. Nobody told you that too much vitamin E could weaken your legs. Furthermore, no one mentioned how consuming large amounts of vitamin B6 for energy could cause the nerves that enable walking to become numb. However, you now know. Furthermore, that information is not a burden. It's a present. You have some control over this. You are actually more in charge than you realize. You may take a significant step in safeguarding your legs, your freedom, and your dignity by reviewing your supplements, asking the correct questions of your doctor, and believing the signals your body has been trying to send you. There is still time to make adjustments. It's always possible to make a different decision. Strength, recuperation, and sustaining you through the upcoming years are all still possible with your body, if you give it the attention it currently merits. So take a moment. Think. Consider what you put into your body on a daily basis, because your actions today have an impact on your health in the future. It determines the course you will take tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, we have one more reality to confront: inactivity and prolonged sitting are two things we don't take seriously enough, but they can be much more harmful than taking the incorrect vitamins. That silent habit that permeates modern life may be hastening your demise more quickly than any supplement ever could. Next, let's investigate that. 5. Now what are you supposed to do? The next question is possibly the most crucial one now that you are aware of the reality. What ought one to do? What can you do to safeguard the life you've put so much effort into creating, your strength, and your independence? The solution is found in something much more potent than shame or dread: consciousness. The first step in any change is awareness. It's not about changing the past or taking back the decisions you've made. It's about using your newfound understanding to make better decisions today. Examining the supplements you are taking closely is the first and most urgent step, with purpose, not in a panic. You may have had that bottle on your kitchen counter or bathroom shelf for years. Now consider this. Have I ever really wondered what's in it? Have I looked at the dosage or thought about whether I still need it? Labels that claim anti-aging, cognitive assistance, or heart health are easy to believe. However, your body is different, so what suits one person could not suit you. Accuracy is crucial, particularly at this point in life. Excessive amounts of beneficial substances, particularly vitamins, can have mild but long-lasting negative effects. Consult a physician who is knowledgeable about the intricacies of aging as the next step. Unfortunately, Many seniors continue to get general health advice from doctors who are not educated in geriatric care. You're worthy of better. You should have a discussion that considers your age, medications, food, and way of life. Find out from your healthcare professional what your body actually requires and what it doesn't. Gaining a better understanding of what's going on inside your body at the moment is equally vital. Request a complete nutrient panel that includes vitamin levels in addition to the standard blood test. Numbers are honest. If there is an imbalance, if your body is storing more than it should, or if your levels are very high, they will let you know. Pursuing perfection is not the point here. The goal is to stop damage before it becomes entrenched in ways that are more difficult to undo. Above all, keep in mind that your body prefers to be nourished by food, not by drugs. To meet your nutritional needs, try to eat real whole meals whenever you can. Not only are lean meats, whole grains, fresh veggies, and healthy fats good options. They are the best medication found in nature. While there may be a role for supplements, careful nutrition and a balanced lifestyle should always come first. It is not a show of fear to act now. It's a statement of power. It indicates that you respect your health enough to take care of it. It indicates that when change and clarity are possible, you won't accept mediocrity. You've traveled too far and lived too long to allow preventable errors to rob you of your freedom, security, or mobility. However, we still need to discuss one aspect of the dilemma. Because there is another silent force at work against your legs, even if your vitamin balance is ideal. And the majority of people do it without even realizing it every day. Your future may be more influenced by your sitting habits, movement patterns, and amount of time spent still than you ever realized. Let's examine it more closely. Sixth, a private message from another senior. You can only learn something from time. I've learned by living through over a century of change, love, sorrow, and resiliency. That disease isn't the biggest threat to our health as we age. Assuming deterioration is unavoidable is what it is. I've watched friends give in to weakness far too frequently, blaming it on aging without ever considering the unseen forces at play. I've seen strong, self-sufficient people gradually lose their independence, sometimes literally, due to something as little and unnoticed as a daily medication they believed was beneficial. I'm talking to you today as someone who has been on your journey, not as a scientist or a doctor. Someone who has experienced the silent terror of waning strength, of trembling in front of a stairway, of wondering if one fall would be the end. I've survived it. And for that reason, I'm telling you this to wake you up rather than to fear you. You still have options. You still possess power. Above all, you still have time to safeguard the most vital areas of your body: your freedom, your legs, and your equilibrium. Everybody wants to live a long life. However, we ought to question ourselves, how do we live strong ones? Pursuing every new supplement available or thinking that more is always better are not the answers. The secret is to pay attention to your body, to the subtle changes, and to the wisdom that comes with growing older. It entails challenging habits that no longer benefit us, and having the guts to veer off course when something doesn't feel right. I tell you this because I firmly think that getting older does not equate to becoming weaker. Even if we may be slower and have gray hair, our choices still matter. You haven't lost your health. You're still seeing it unfold. And the freedom you maintain tomorrow is the strength you defend today. Don't wait then. Remember that you are still in control of your life. So pay close attention, make informed decisions, and go forward with confidence and steadiness. Growing older is not a loss. It is a gateway to a new kind of strength that is more reliant on intelligence than speed. Nevertheless, despite all of our experience, it's simple to ignore the little things that gradually harm our health. Not all dangers are obvious. Some show up covertly as beneficial routines or well-intentioned behaviors. Furthermore, they frequently start with something as little as a vitamin that is taken out of trust rather than knowledge. However, you now know. You are aware that at this point in your life, your body needs more attention, not more medication, but more deliberate decision-making. You are aware that your leg strength, gait, and self-assurance are not merely physical attributes. They are also emotional and closely linked to your sense of self-reliance and self-respect. You lose freedom as well as strength when you start to lose them. You miss out on life's impromptu pleasures, the stroll around the neighborhood, the visit to your grandchildren, and the peaceful fulfillment that comes from working alone. This isn't a tale of loss, though. It's a tale of consciousness. and awareness gives you the ability to change the course of events. You must live with attentiveness, but you do not have to live in terror. Pay close attention to the decisions you're making. Think twice about your routine. Ask for guidance that honors your age, physical attributes, and past experiences. Above all, remember that you have the ability to change. You deserve a future where you walk steadily, where your body upholds your spirit, and where the grace with which you face obstacles defines your years rather than their restrictions. This is your chance to regain control by doing what really matters, not by doing more. Because aging does not equate to surrender. It entails being more intelligent, and when applied, wisdom might be the most potent remedy available. The purpose of these lectures is to encourage you to live life to the fullest and most genuine. I would be delighted to hear from you now. Think for a moment, then share one item you've learned that you want to use in your own life. On this path of accepting these realities, let's help one another. If this video was enjoyable to you, please leave a remark with one. If not, feel free to use 0 in your comment. Your opinions are very important to us. For more videos like these, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, and share our videos. I appreciate you viewing, and I hope you enjoy living your life as you see fit.